Yeah, it's another good night. Just really proud of the approach to the game tonight from our guys. That was an uncomfortable baseball game right there from a temperature perspective, but you wouldn't have known it sitting in that dugout. I thought their focus, their ability to go do their job in non-ideal conditions on both sides of the ball. I mean, Kittrell from the start just setting the tone. I thought offensively we were just really relentless. That's what we want to be. Is just, man, we're gonna just grind out at bats until the game's over, regardless of what that looks like. And I thought we did a good job of that tonight. So obviously happy with the result tonight. And now it's gonna be an early morning getting out of here and heading down to Jacksonville. But excited for the challenge that's in front of these guys. They've done what they needed to do at home, and now it's about turning our attention to three regional caliber clubs that we're gonna play this weekend. So excited for the challenge and excited to keep this thing moving.
Coach, two guys next to you at 10 RBIs combined tonight. What has their impact been at the beginning of the season and kind of since they got to Tuscaloosa this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, I hate even saying it's what we expect, but it's what we expect out of them. You know, like both of these guys were guys that came in and that had really prolific junior college careers. And, you know, there's a lot of things. The path to Alabama, the path to Division I baseball is different for everybody. And these guys went a path that's not always the easiest. And the only guys that take those paths are the ones that really care about developing and being special. And that's what they've done. And they've been great since they've stepped on campus. The people they are, the way they go about their business every day is exactly what we want in a player here at Alabama. So really proud of them, and it's what they should do, man. They prepare every day, and they're presented with the opportunity, and they execute and do their job.
Bryce, you hit that ball to straight center, which, you know, on any average day, that's a good feat, but then you do it in under 40-degree weather as a Mississippi guy, now at Alabama. What were your feelings, I guess, when you saw that go out in this?
It felt good, obviously, to get on the board. I kind of felt like I was getting left behind, seeing all the guys hit home runs over the last couple of games. So definitely felt good. I'm glad I got out of the way, and hopefully can keep it going.
Coach, I know you touched on it opener. What do you see as Zach Kittrell today? I believe, I'm not entirely sure if this is correct, I think it was a second collegiate start. And what do you kind of see out of him today?
Yeah, I mean, same thing with Kitty, man. His path to getting here is pretty awesome. You know, he came in and was injured, and it was about a year and a half without pitching, you know. And when you watch that kid play catch, you knew it was a special arm. But there's a lot more to this game than a special arm, you know. And I've been really proud. He missed the whole fall. He didn't pitch at all this fall. And even coming out this preseason, we were kind of intrigued to see Zach Kittrell. You know, we've seen videos. We knew what it was before he got hurt, but we hadn't seen it. And man, he's burst onto the scene, and it's just power stuff. You know, it's a real fastball. It's really hard to get above that heater, and it's a really good breaking ball. But what I think I've been the most impressed with him is just his ability to manage a game and slow it down. Sometimes when you haven't pitched in that long in a competitive environment, the game can get really fast, and maybe your command's a tick spotty. But my goodness, and we talk about, like, tonight's not an easy day to hit, but it's also not an easy day to pitch, you know, and he came out and was absolutely electric. And that's a big piece of him, you know, coming out after two, is that's an arm we're going to need to bounce back and be good for us this weekend.
Bryce, 2 more hits tonight. You were saying your hit streak to 5 games to start the year. How do you keep that rolling into the weekend?
Yeah, man, I just try not to think about it too much. Obviously, the swing's feeling good. My approach is working, so just kind of sticking to that. Try not to get too far out of the box and keep things simple.
Richie, you and Bryce have been tasked with basically replacing 2/3 of a starting outfield at an SEC school. How do you feel that the adjustment has gone? He spoke about it some this past weekend, but through a small sample size, where do you feel you stand right now?
I think we're pretty awesome as an outfield. I think we have the speed, and I think me and Bryce out there and, you know, Kate Snow, we just get after it, and at practice we go through everything and kind of develop from there, and we know what we're capable of, and we just go out there and compete.
And obviously hitting in that 9 spot, it's your job to kind of extend that lineup, turn the card over every time you go up there. How do you feel in that role?
Oh, I feel awesome. I mean, going in the 9 spot, I know what my job is, and I want to get on base every at-bat, and like there, you know, I got on base. I was able to work a walk, and Bryce hits that grand slam, so it feels good, you know, just unselfish baseball, so it's awesome.
Coach, how encouraging it is to see your 7, 8, 9 hitters tonight combined 6 for 10 with 6 RBIs and 6 runs scored to really set the tone for the top of the lineup?
Yeah, I think I've said this before. You know, I think the best offenses I've been a part of have an elite bottom half. You know, because so many times I think you look at you look at teams and it's like, man, if we can just survive the 6 holders, 7, 8, 9, we got some outs at the bottom, and it's not unintentional that we have him hitting in the 9. Like Bryce Eblin before he got hurt last year hitting the 9 hole, and when our offense was really rolling last year, a big part of that was how good Ebbs was in the 9. And I look back at my years, Kevin Keister, who's on staff with us now, Kev hitting the 9 hole for me at Maryland on some of those really prolific offensive years, and was super productive. And that's what I love about it, is there's right now with the way these young men are running at bats off, there's no room to breathe, really. You know, it's you get Braun one at bat, and here comes Bull, here comes Torres, and then if you somehow manage that, you've got Norton and Hodo sitting behind them, and if you manage that, you know, it just kind of keeps coming, and that's what you want to see out of an offense. I mean, you want to see just consistent toughness, and that's what these guys have shown thus far. And like I said, we got a tough weekend ahead of us because it's going to be tested. Things have kind of gone our way these first 5 games, which is great. And that ain't always going to be the case. And at some point we scored, I think, every inning tonight, and we scored most of our innings last night. It seemed like most of our innings this weekend. It's not always going to be the case. At some point, we're going to be locked in a 0-0 game in the 6th and have to kind of grind our way through that. And I'm excited to see these guys kind of step into that next tier of competition as we move into this weekend.
Coach, you guys went to Frisco last year for that multi-team event. Talk about the importance of this weekend, not only in terms of the caliber of opponent that you're facing, which you kind of mentioned, but also what that simulates in terms of down the line and SEC tournament and a regional maybe kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just good to get on the road, you know, and it's one of the cool things about being at a place like Maryland when I was there for a while was we played a lot of road games, so you kind of get tested a little bit early, whereas here we play more games at home, which is awesome. My family loves that. I love that. But it's good to get on the road outside of our comfort zone, outside of what's familiar to us, and have to go operate, you know, and we're not necessarily going to have that hostile environment this weekend that we'll have when we move into the SEC, but we're going to play 3 SEC caliber teams. And so I think it's going to be huge to get these guys on the road and turn around. I mean, shoot, we got three more of our 5 games of this week, which is the grind of college baseball. So it's going to be really good to get out there and see can we continue to be us on the road against good opponents. We're not sleeping in our own bed. We're not playing in the joke. Can we continue to be this team that operates at the level they're operating right now?
Coach, it was more for all 3 of y'all. Justin LeBron made some great plays out short today. How does having that, knowing that any ball kind of hitting that area might be stopped and being out, how does that kind of, I guess, change your defensive philosophy? I guess I would put it that way. Not really sure.
Yeah, obviously, having that guy at shortstop's great. He's unbelievable. In my opinion, probably the best shortstop in the country. And I don't think it's close. So that's always good, knowing that a ball in that area gets hit, that it's not getting out of the infield. And 9 times out of 10, it's probably an out. So, and I know as a pitcher, those guys, having him behind them is just, it's a great feeling to have, knowing that they got a guy like that playing defense behind them.
He's a special kid, man. Every good team's really good through the middle, and I think the kind of combo of Platt and Brady behind the plate has been great for 5 games. Those guys have been awesome. Obviously, Braun at short, and we've got 2 center fielders out there. You guys hit on that earlier, but we got 2 elite level center fielders. We just have the luxury of playing 1 in each spot, So I think Justin's a special kid, special player. And when you get guys like that, you kind of just hold on tight and enjoy the ride.
Coach, what did you see? Did you learn anything from the 5 pitchers that you put in the game today, specifically Bo Grimes, who had bases loaded in the 5th but got out with no runs?
Yeah, and that's Bo. I'm telling you, man, Bo's an uncomfortable at bat. It is an uncomfortable at bat because it's a low slot. It kind of carries on you. It's real stuff. And Bo did that today without much feel for his secondary stuff. The changeup is really good, and in a cold night like tonight, it's just kind of a tough pitch to command. But man, they go, whatever it was, walk or whatever, and then double, and he didn't flinch. He didn't panic. He just settled in, executed pitches, and got out of a big jam. So in general, I thought all those guys were great tonight. Like I said, it's not an easy day to hit. It's certainly not an easy day to pitch, but you wouldn't have known from watching those guys out on the mound. You wouldn't have known from watching our hitters in the box that we were playing in those type of conditions. They just came out and executed, and that's what toughness means. That's what toughness looks like.
More, Coach, obviously Garrett not playing today after he took that ball yesterday. Is there any official word on his status or how much time he might be out for?
Yeah, we still don't know how much time. Garrett's going to have surgery tomorrow. He did break his finger, so he's going to have surgery first thing in the morning. And then from there, we'll have a better idea of a timeline once that goes through there. Hopefully, I think some of that they won't know 100% until they get in there tomorrow. So he's going to go in tomorrow and get that knocked out. And, obviously you hate it for him because he's obviously playing elite level baseball right now, but also is an older guy. Like, he's a senior. And so he's in a great mental place right now. I mean, as good as you can be after something like that, of understanding, like, hey, this is what's been presented to me. Does it suck? Yeah, it really sucks. But at the end of the day, he'll have surgery tomorrow. We'll get this thing fixed, and he'll be on the road to get back as soon as he can. So we'll have a better idea tomorrow once we go through that. But we'll be without him for at least a couple weeks.
Coach, you think Bo Bryant will be in play to get some starts down the stretch, or do you think his stuff plays better in the bullpen?
Yeah, I think anything's on the table. Bo's starting a ton in junior college, and honestly, Bo gets better as he goes. Like, the more he pitches, the more he settles in, and the better he gets. And so, there's a side of it. Like, I think he's kind of a jack of all trades, kind of like I said with Tyler Fay last night, can kind of do both. And if we need to go continue to build him up and get him in a starting role, he is more than capable of handling that. Just the way it kind of worked right now, it kind of made sense in the bullpen to start, but it won't shock me down the road this year as we go if he's not getting some starts here and there.